Hey, welcome everybody. I'm going to show you, we're doing an ice cream shop here, and we have some prep to do here on the building just to finish it up. It was carpeted and some VCT tile, so there's a lot of glue down, and right now the restaurant owner took a sander and sanded it off using self-leveling concrete, and just dry sanding it to try to absorb the moisture out of the glue, which is very successful, usually doing it that way. You see a lot of lines, but it's actually very smooth to the touch. So come in and I'll show you what we're doing. We did a little bit of patch down through the corner here. It was just a weird foam joint we were filling, so we just did a little bit of body filler in there. Since it's very old, we don't expect any movement. We're gonna go back and grind that a little bit prior to sealing it.
My name's Octavio, and this is my business, is La Michoacana ice cream shops, and we have ice cream popsicles and a whole bunch of snacks, all homemade. So we decided to go with an epoxy flooring because that's really modern and eye-catching, and the colors we came up with were based on our logo and our brand, which is pink, green, and the white.
So right now what we're doing is we're making sure our exterior wall is sealed so that none of our epoxy from inside the building goes outside, or if it rains outside, when we have wet epoxy here, the water doesn't come inside. So it's important to make sure that base plate's sealed, or into the adjoining. We have a restaurant on one side, a store on the other. Basically we're gonna do that, make sure all of our little highs are ground down, our lows are filled, then we're gonna seal our slab today. So 2 parts A, 1 part B, this is the hardener, this is the resin.
So,
you could
1.5?
No, would that be 1 to 1 or 2 to 1?
Oh, right. 2 to 4. So
You see,
2A, 2B.
No, that would be 1. That would be 1 to 1 as well.
Yeah.
So we'll go up to the 2 with your A, and the 3 with your B, and that'll be 2 parts A and 1 part B. Half as much of this, twice as much of this. And you'll always just pour in all your epoxy, and then you'll just add that. Blade it in there. Okay, yeah, more.
Voila.
Keep one more.
We made our own self-leveling run.
And so much better than the stuff that chipped right out here that was actually the self-leveling concrete that I always see failures of every time.
The other one was powder and water.
Yeah, and you can skim in anything you need to patch with this. You pour a little more, just a tiny bit.
In there, or?
You know what? Hold on. Maybe I have enough.
A couple little pinholes.
Yeah, good eyes. Thank you. Yeah, and that'll self-level right into place there too.
Did you say this is a fast condo?
This is a what? Yeah, we'll pour a little more. We're a little low.
Fast curing condo?
No, this is epoxy mixed with 20-minute joint compound, and it doesn't really matter if it's 10 or 5 or 20. You put a little more. I think this is actually a bit of a low area here still. It's going to self-level out. Yeah, that'll probably be perfect. That'll be close enough even if it's not. Thank you, man.
You said epoxy is what?
And 20-minute joint compound, like drywall joint compound.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if you're gonna do a lot of patch, sometimes I do color, a little bit of color, so we see where it's at on the floor. I was gonna be running a ton of that, so we don't step in it. And now, best thing we can do with that is just leave it in the bucket and see if it's low at all in a minute. It might be a tiny bit low still. You know what? Yeah, pour a little more along here. Just a little low, yeah. Yeah, that's good eye. Good job on that one. That's the hardest thing to do is not pour too much when you're...
Looks pretty good. Tell me when. I got you. Thank you. Yes, sir. We good?
No.
Nope, keep going. I'll let you know.
About halfway.
Yeah. Come on. Now.
And then where's that white pigment over there? We'll grab one bag of that white pigment and we'll put that in. So I'm gonna put approximately half of one of the lines so I can have about 20%. Now we don't want any excess on this floor. No need for it. We also don't need this to be perfectly level or anything, but we do want 100% coverage to our floor. So let me get a little farther with this.
It's good.
So if you were using a squeegee, it would take too much material with, or?
Yeah, this is gonna leave just the proper amount basically too, so. All your edges cutting in takes you most of your time, guys. Okay, now if somebody wants to, you have two options. Either wait till I get way ahead of you, go out and just walk on spikes, which that can be a little slippery, or work right now where you can reach and cross roll over my shoulder and I'll just work around you. Here, I'll show you guys. So we'll
And so are you just working it in the groove?
just soaking up any excess. I don't want any chop marks, big squeegee marks or anything like that. And I want to have an even sheen across this floor when we're done. So like if you were to look at that reflection, I'd want it to look pretty uniform. But you want it wet enough. I'm probably gonna I want this a little bit white here on the floor. Yeah, I wish they had an 18-inch roller. All right, just go for it, guys. Yep, if somebody wants to start pulling out the skim coat too.
Takes a second to feel that viscosity. But the closer to the wall, the better.
And the reason being is you don't want to have to push it out just to push it back. So if you ever pour a huge job, like if you're ever on a job when you do 10,000 square feet, the little details make so much difference to you. And little details, one huge one in my opinion that adds up is where you pour your product. So once I work my wet line out to here, we were timing it actually when we poured 273 kits, I believe, at one time, like 5 years ago. And I noticed the guy was pouring out, like a foot out, and it made me have to swipe every single pass. I had to push the product back up, and then I had to make another pass to push it back, and it was about where it was, and then a third pass would finally make me distance, if that makes sense. So we were timing that, and on 270 some mixes, we were spending like 7 extra minutes every time. We could spread a bucket faster than what we could get the pile back to where it should be, if that makes sense. So we got that done in 4 hours and 45 minutes, but I think the math I figured, we would have been there for like 21 hours just by pouring that in the wrong place or whatever it was. It was kind of astronomical that the little details added up. So now the speed you push a T-bar has everything to do with the thickness of the coating. And if you notice, I'm not on spikes, because I don't want to be on spikes yet. There's no need to be on spikes when you can already access the majority of your floor, if that makes sense.
We're good.
And all your cut in takes you most of your time, so.
However you want. Yeah, however you want, but then you mix it up, move it around. You get it right over the top.
Tough crap.
I'm giving you points for outside the box.
Most of my life I've been outside the box.
It's gonna really lay this down so much nicer than it is now. Really heavy on this pattern too, because it'll just let it mesh together and flow like nothing else.